Hi, Capricorn Rising friends. I'm Lisa from Trails Edge Astrology, and I am here today with your Cancer New Moon Astrology and Tarot horoscopes. So, the new moon shapes the energy around the new moon, shapes the energy of the month ahead. And so, it's interesting to look at those kinds of things and what they're coming up and what's coming up and where it's showing up in your life. So, well, that's how we're going to start, and then we'll go to the cards. Cancer new moons are always about big feelings, big sensitivity, imagination, very watery. Cancer is the divine mother. And so it's nurturing energy, it's security minded energy, all those kinds of things. And for you, your sixth house is your house of committed relationships. It's your seventh house in your birth chart. So that lends a special, um, a focus on relationships during this lunar cycle. You always have Cancer as on your seventh house cusp. So that's nothing new for you. But in this lunar cycle, you are invited to dig a little bit deeper into those relationships and how they're working and how they're making you feel in particular, since this is a Cancer moon. What that's bringing up for you. And relationships can be romantic relationships, they can be like your best friend, they can be business relationships, any of those intertwinements, places where you're really committed to one other person. So any of those kinds of things are probably ripe for invitation and to work with during this new moon. So the new moon is also being shaped by the Mercury-Pluto opposition, which happened on Wednesday. And if you go back to my 1 Minute Astrology for Wednesday, I talk about what that all means. So I'll send you there rather than diving too deeply into it. But for you, the Pluto transformation over the next 20 years, while it's in Aquarius, is around your resources, your money, your sense of self-worth, um, your values, all of those kinds of things, how you spend your time, treasures, and talents. So there's some turning and discussion within your psyche about how to reform your relationship with resources and with what you have and what you feel like you need. And so that's a big project, to say the least. And during the month of July, first Mercury, then Venus, and then the Sun will all oppose Pluto in that space in your chart. And so, really kind of like focusing in on what are some of the shadows you have, or what are some of um, the core beliefs that may or may not actually be factually true that you have around money and resources and your value, your sense of self-worth. Are those some of those things being exposed? And sometimes when there's an opposition, like, we have a tendency to project something onto someone else, like something that we really need to be dealing with. We're like, well, clearly it's their fault or their problem, or they're pushing this, they're making me do this thing. So just being aware that those kinds of things might come up this month, where somebody else makes you feel less than, or makes you feel like you're out of control with respect to your use of resources, um, when in fact there's some deeper learning, something that these oppositions are trying to uncover for you to help you move forward in that area. Um, on the day of the new moon, today, on Friday, we have a Mars-Saturn sextile, which is nice. Mars is our ability to enact our will in the world, and Saturn provides us some structure and foundation in which to build it. Um, when they are sextile, they are having a healthy, um, congenial kind of conversation. And so I'm hoping that while there's going to be a lot of feelings, for you, particularly around emotions and money, while those kinds of things are like heightened this month, I'm hoping that this Mars Saturn sextile will kind of like give us some foundation to work from. Because in the middle of the month, the thing we're going to deal with during this lunar cycle is the Mars-Uranus conjunction. And they're meeting in Taurus. And I think we will probably start feeling this energy next week. Mars-Uranus energy is big. And not typically something that we miss. We don't usually miss it. Uh, Mars likes to go fast. Uranus likes to go faster. I often say Mars in Taurus is the bull in the china shop. And to continue that metaphor, Uranus is the cattle prod. So, um, so around the middle of the month, expect the unexpected. Expect something to change, and know that change isn't necessarily bad. It's just change. Uranus is not necessarily doesn't necessarily have a moral imperative. It's just like you need to go. We got to get off the mark and move. And so the two of them coming together, I think, can be a little. It has the potential to be a little disruptive to our lives. For you, Capricorn, this is happening in your fifth house. And your fifth house is the house of creativity. Like, what are you trying to bring into the world? So there's some transformative energy around what that looks like. And there's been a real focus on this Taurus house all year long. So the Jupiter Uranus conjunction was in Taurus back in April, and the eclipse season was really focused on this Taurus house. And so it's not new that there would be energy here. And with Mars Uranus coming together, I wonder if there's not like get off the dime, get off the starting block, a move, a forward motion energy coming out that I'm curious. So yeah, the fifth house is individuation. It's bringing your message to the world. It's shining your light. It's all of those kinds of things. And there's something that I would guess is transformational about how you're thinking about doing that. Fifth house can also be a place where you take some risks. So whereas Taurus is not a risk-taking house. Taurus is slow and steady wins the race. But having Mars and Uranus there, I'm wondering if there's not a push to do something big. So depending on your other placements, some other energies could be coming in to push this even faster or slow it down in some ways, if we've got Saturn there or something like that. But yeah, in general, I think there's something about what it is you're bringing into the world that is changing, transitioning. You're moving into a new 14-year cycle. And I think the middle of this month, you will have some energy to move that along. So, I think the name of the game for this lunar cycle is introspection, is be internal, really, because Cancer is so deeply feeling, be sure to tune into your body, listen to your heart and your gut before you move forward. Certainly move forward if you feel right, that there's the stability of the Mars Saturn sextile, and then the push of the Mars Uranus conjunction coming your way. And I just say, tune into your body first, and of course, with the new moon in your house of relationships, there might be something related to the people you're closely connected to, a business partner or a romantic partner that is helping birth this new creative effort that you're undergoing. And of course, let's not forget about the money piece from Pluto sitting in your house of finances, resources, values, self-worth. All right, with that, let's look at what the cards have to say about how you can engage with all this energy. We are using the Mind's Eye Tarot from Olivia Rose. I got this deck a month or so ago at Hazel Jane in Effingham, Illinois, and I adore it. So I've been using it a ton. And then we're going to finish off with an oracle pull from the Season of the Witch Litha oracle deck. Litha is the summer solstice, which was a couple weeks ago, and I observed that energy through the first full moon in Cancer. So I'm still using it, and I really like the deck, so I'm still using it. All right, so let's see what the cards have to say for you. I guess before we do, I'm doing a new moon spread that I use in my own practice, so it's not the spread that I traditionally have done on these, so I don't think I've done it on this channel before. 5 cards, and I'm curious what you think about it. It's, as I say, it's one that I typically use every new moon, and so I'm sharing it with you today. All right, let's see what is at hand. So where are you now? Let me move this over so that I can see, so that I can see that you can see the cards. So where are you now? We got the Six of Cups, and the Six of Cups is about nostalgia. It's about maybe remembering fondly a time in the past, or it can be about like inner child work. Um, so I wonder if you are not right now like being like, why can't things be the way they used to be? Why isn't it working? Something worked this way before, but it's not working this way now. Or maybe you're just honestly, it's a holiday weekend. Maybe you're spending time with family or old friends or something like that. So you're in a space where you are remembering, you're nostalgic, you are maybe doing some inner child work, maybe working through some old stuff. um, but anyway, that's you're coming into this moon cycle with in that kind of space. And interestingly, now that I'm thinking about it, um, the Gemini moon cycle would have been in your sixth house, which is about working on yourself and kind of daily habits, and could be something like some psychological exploration or healing around that. So something related to the past, or being in the past, or feeling into the past. Cups are feeling, so this is a heart and gut thing, not a head thing necessarily. All right, what is blocking your growth? For that, you got the Knight of Pentacles. So the Knights are all about movement, but the Knight of Pentacles is the slowest of the Knights. This feels very Taurus to me. Slow and steady wins the race. But this is a block to your growth, and so I wonder if there's not something that you're moving too slowly on, that maybe because you're in this headspace where you're remembering, or you're longing for the way things used to be. Maybe you're not taking a risk that you need to take. Maybe you are moving too slowly, or being a little bit too cautious in all of this, and like you need to go somewhere, but you're just going through the motions. And yeah, so something about um, be about a slow, steady pace is blocking your growth. Maybe this Mars Uranus conjunction in your house of creativity is gonna like blow something open. You're gonna be like, I gotta go. Um, but not going is blocking your growth. So there's something about moving slowly that maybe hindering where you need to go. All right. The next card is what intentions will help you move forward. And you got the Two of Pentacles. So the Two of Pentacles is about juggling. It's about multitasking. It's about holding lots of balls in the air at the same time. So I'm wondering if, going back to this Knight of Pentacles, if the Two of Pentacles isn't saying, so the Knight of Pentacles might be saying, only do one thing at a time. I'm going to work on this and get it finished, and then I'll move on to the next thing. And the Two of Pentacles is saying the intention that you can bring in this month is that you can hold two things at the same time, that you can work on two projects simultaneously. So maybe you're working on your relationship and your finances at the same time, and they're connected, but they're not connected. Or maybe this creative project is, this whatever you're bringing into the world, whatever shininess you're sharing is, you can work on that, and you can work on your relationship and your finances. You can juggle all of these things at the same time. And in fact, there's some energy that's saying maybe do that. Maybe invite in a little bit more like let's move forward onto the next thing. Let's not be stuck in the past. Let's not be stuck just ruminating on what has been. Let's move into some physical space and actually know that you are capable of doing more than one thing at a time. So that's an intention that you can bring in over this new lunar cycle. You can do more than one thing at the same time and be successful. All right. The next card is what knowledge do you need in order to go forward? And the knowledge you've got is the Ace of Pentacles. So this is really interesting. You have 3 pentacles in a row. So I wonder, well, and Pluto's in your house of money. This makes sense. Pentacles are about how sometimes how we nurture ourselves, but about our jobs, about our incomes, about like the physical reality of things. They're the earth element. So the knowledge you require is the Ace of Pentacles, and this is actually really a kind of a nice 5th house card too, because aces are the purest form of the energy, and pentacles are about manifesting something into the world. And so you've got all of this Taurus energy and this Mars-Uranus conjunction in that 5th house, and this is saying like there's some new creative outlet coming. But it's not mental, not a mental exercise. It's not necessarily a friendship kind of thing. Um, it's something like bringing something into the world, birthing this creative process. And you're probably not going to be done with it. These are long cycles, but I think the knowledge you need is that you are creating something, you are bringing something into the world, and it will come. You don't need to be too slow about it. You can hold multiple things, and it's going to happen. But yeah, so interesting that the 3 pentacles, like this is a material. This is like your job. This is money. This is resources. This is bringing something into the space. So, or into the like 3D space, like you are manifesting something. This is 5th house energy. You are bringing something in, and know that you yeah that don't sit in the past. Don't move too slow. Don't move too fast either. But this is energy that says you can do more than one thing at a time. All right, and then what emerging positive energy will come if you engage with this new moon in the ways the cards are saying? Oh, this is interesting. So we got the Hermit, and with all the pentacles, the pentacle energy is very much about manifesting something in the world. The Hermit is not necessarily. The Hermit is a still card. It's about going. It's about being internal, and about not stepping out. Yeah, doing your inner work, I guess, is what it is. So there's this external idea, but this is about doing your internal work, and this is the positive manifestation. Let me consult the guidebook for just a sec. Okay, I reached for Rachel Pollack's 78 Degrees of Freedom, and about the Hermit, she says this is primarily a card that means withdrawal from the outer world for the purposes of activating the unconscious mind. The Hermit also signifies a teacher who will show up and will begin this process and will help us find our way. So I wonder, this could be a teacher. Could be somebody showing up who's going to help you move this along. And teachers it can be a person, it can be a book, it can be like you hear something on the streets, it can be any of that kind of thing. So yeah, so it could be a teacher. But the one thing I thought was interesting, she says, the Hermit signifies a transition. Through the technique of meditation or psychic discipline or analysis, we allow the hidden parts of our psyche to begin to speak to us. So something about like you've got to bring something physically in the world. You've got to not ruminate on the past, but really bring something into the physical space. Like do your manifestation work. And when you do, there's some transition, some ability to. What did she say? Let me read it again. Yeah. She says. Through the techniques of meditation, psychic discipline, or analysis, we allow the hidden parts of our psyche to begin to speak to us. Yeah, so So if you start to bring this, if you start to do this manifestation process, you start to bring in whatever you're trying to create, you get to hear something. So it's an interesting, I think this is an interesting balance between um, doing the work you need to do in the world and being quiet and listening at the same time. So let's see what the oracle card says, um, to maybe kind of tie all this together. All right, for your oracle card, you got summer berries. And summer berries, the card says, be wary of picking your harvest too early, the risk of losing all the sweetness. Or, I'm sorry, let me read that again. Be wary of picking your harvest too early and risking losing the sweetness of all of it. Oh, that's interesting. So that, like maybe there is something to this Knight of Pentacles. Maybe there is some slowness. Um, or maybe this is just like, do your work in the physical world. So let's look at the guidebook and see what it says. So for summer berries, it says, your situation needs time to ripen, just like the summer berries. Pick your harvest too early, and it may be sour, bitter, or tough to chew, whereas patience is rewarded by sweet bounty or juicy fruit. You are on the right path, but it will take more time before you reach your desired outcomes, so use this time to tend to small tasks. Accept that this is a process and it is out of your control. Things will progress in the proper time, and any attempts to speed things along could leave you with an undesirable result. When this card appears, you can trust that you are safely working towards your long-term goals and will find success. It may take longer than you'd like, but nevertheless, it will happen. So yeah, so there's you have an interesting Cap Risings. You have an interesting month ahead. Like there's this like push pull kind of thing. Like you are meant to bring something out into the world, um, but ultimately, I think by doing that, you learn more about yourself. You become more self-secure, or maybe a teacher or a teaching shows up that tells you, it helps you know how to do this on the long term. So friends, I hope that helps. I hope it gives you some guidance to go forward. And if you are still here, I would appreciate a like or a subscribe. That helps me grow the channel. It helps other people find me. If you feel called to share, sharing is always good. And I hope to see you again soon. Let me know how this hits. All right. Bye.